Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Occult Movie Tuesdays right here on Night Owl Video. And today we are talking about Repo Man. So I hope you stick around. We're going to be talking about cast, production, critical reception, my thoughts on the film, and I'm going to be doing a little kind of tour of this edition because this is a new DVD I just picked up last week, and it's a Criterion. And these are, I don't know. I kind of feel like you almost have to celebrate these ones because they're just such nice additions, and you pay a little bit more for them too. So, anyway, we're going to be talking about this movie. One of my all-time favorites, and one of the just great cult movies from the 1980s. Anyway, we'll get into that. So this is a sci-fi / black comedy. This is from 1984, I believe. Yes, 1984. It has a runtime of 92 minutes. Perfect. This was directed by a person named Alex Cox, who also did the film Sid and Nancy. Some of you may have seen that movie, as well as the film Straight to Hell. The film stars Emilio Estevez. You may know him from Breakfast Club or Maximum Overdrive or like 1,000 other movies. This also stars Harry Dean Stanton, the rest in peace, one of the greatest character actors in film, in my opinion. He was in Alien, Escape from New York, Christine, Pretty in Pink. He was Molly Ringwald's dad in Pretty in Pink. This also stars Tracy Walter, who was in Conan the Destroyer, as well as Batman '89, as well as Olivia Barash, who was in Tough Turf, which is a film I've bought but have not watched yet, so kind of excited to see this. I'm really excited about reviewing this movie. This is, like I said at the beginning, this is one of my favorites. And I used to have this on VHS back in the day, and I don't know why I got rid of it, but I did. And I made a point to special order this Criterion because I really needed this in my collection. I also really wanted to rewatch it and be able to rewatch it. So the synopsis for this film is: after being fired from his job, Los Angeles punk rocker Otto, played by Emilio Estevez, lands a gig working for an eccentric repossession agent named Bud, played by Harry Dean Stanton. At first, Otto is reluctant to work as a repo man, but he grows to love the fast-paced job. After learning a Chevy Malibu has been given a $20,000 price tag to be repossessed, or captured for that matter, Otto embarks on a quest to find the car with the beautiful Layla, played by Olivia Barash, who claims the trunk's contents are otherworldly. So the production notes for this film, and I've got quite a bit here, thanks to the Criterion website as well as IMDb. I'm kind of trying to move away a bit from Wikipedia just because you can't always ensure the accuracy of that website, so I'm trying to find other sources. So the script for Repo Man was based on director Alex Cox's experiences riding around with a real-life car repossessor named Mark Lewis, who had hired Cox as an assistant. So real-life experience that went into the writing and creation of this film. The movie, unfortunately, was pulled after only 1 week of being in the movie theater, and I think that was due to poor ticket sales or something, and I'm guessing that was the distributor, Universal, although don't quote me on that, I'm not entirely sure about. The crazy thing is the soundtrack to this film went on to sell like thousands and thousands, if not tens of thousands of copies, and for that reason alone, the company decided to put the movie back in the theater. So I think it came out in like January of '84, and then it got re-released in the fall of '84 because of the excellent album sales for the soundtrack. And then this movie ended up being kind of like a little hit, and the critics loved it, and a lot of folks who didn't get a chance to see it finally got a chance to see it, so that was cool. The members of the punk band Fear were apparently all considered for the lead roles of the car repossessors in the film. I'm kind of glad with the cast that they went with. I'm sure the guys from Fear would have been funny as well, but I really feel like they nailed it with the casting on this film with Harry Dean Stanton and Emilio Estevez. The theme song was done by Iggy Pop. Some of you may know who that is. And accompanying him on the theme song was Steve Jones from the Sex Pistols, as well as Nigel Harrison and Clem Burke from the band Blondie. So that's kind of an interesting little fact. And I did not know that before preparing this review. Apparently, Alex Cox considered using the actor Dick Rude for the role of Otto. Now, Dick Rude ended up playing the role of Duke, which is Otto's friend in the movie. Apparently, Dick Rude's high school graduation photo was the inspiration for the character Otto, because Dick Rude in high school was like a punk rocker, and his graduation photo actually looks pretty plain, but I think he's got like his head shaved and he's wearing his like his cap and gown, but you can tell he's got a little kind of a smirk on his face, and you could tell he's like probably one of those, like, you know, kind of badass punk rockers. But that was kind of the inspiration for that character, so I thought that was kind of cool. Apparently, also Chris Penn was considered for the role of Otto's friend Kevin, but he was replaced by, or the role eventually went to a person named Xander Schloss, and that person played bass guitar in the Circle Jerks as well as the Weirdos, as well as multiple collaborations with Joe Strummer. Apparently, now I don't know that. I know the Circle Jerks part, but the glowing trunk in the of the car that they're after. So if you've never seen this movie, there is this you know, Malibu that they're trying to find, and it's when you open the trunk, there's like and at different points during the movie, the car is completely glowing. Now apparently that wasn't a special effect. Apparently they painted the whole car using some kind of reflective 3M paint. And apparently each can of paint costs $60 a can. I don't know how many cans it took to paint that car, but it is kind of a cool effect if you ever see the film. This was a cool factoid too that I didn't notice, but when the motorcycle cop at the beginning of the film walks up to the Chevy Malibu to look in the trunk, the license plate is K8B283. As the Malibu drives off, leaving the cops smoking boots, the license plate number is I27GBH or 127GBH. According to the director's voiceover on the commentary, these takes were months apart because the original Malibu that they were using to film the movie was stolen. So it was a different car when the car pulled away than when the cop first stopped the car. So I thought that was really cool. The credits at the one thing I noticed, which is really weird, is the credits at the end of the film scroll down instead of up. The budget for this film was $1.5 million, and the total box office was $3.7 million. I'm gonna guess this movie probably made its money back in home video rentals and sales because, like I said, this became like pretty well known as like a cult film on video. Critics liked the film upon its release, and many put it on their top 10 lists of 1984 as the best film. This is widely considered like the quintessential cult movie, and I can't argue there. This is got to be like the coolest kind of underground sci-fi punk rock mystery hilarity film of all time. Like this is such a cool movie. This is one of those cool movies, I would say. Maybe I did start a list of like my all-time cool movies. Like I would think After Hours or like the first Terminator. Like they're just cool movies. This one, definitely the top of the list. Roger Ebert actually loved this. He gave it 3 out of 4 stars. Apparently he had been on some kind of, like he was watching all these movies that particular week and none of them were landing for him. And then he saw this and he was like, here's a movie with unknown actors for the most part, weirdo story, cool punk rock soundtrack. And he just thought that was so refreshing and he really, really liked the movie. This movie currently has a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, so a lot of people consider this a very good movie. The site's critical consensus reads, quote, Repo Man is many things, an alien invasion film, a punk rock musical, a send-up to consumerism. One thing it isn't is boring, unquote. So, yeah. I mean, I could go, I was afraid this movie was going to be like an hour long because I could talk about this movie for a long time, but my thoughts on this film, easily a 5 out of 5 for me, no question asked. I love, love, love this film. The soundtrack, of course, I grew up in the early 80s as a teenager, totally in love with hardcore punk rock, and this has all the hallmarks of that. The soundtrack is just crazy good. I didn't really mention the soundtrack, but there are The soundtrack is very good. Obviously, beyond the Iggy Pop song, there's lots of great classic punk songs and like LA songs from LA. Like, it's excellent. It doesn't surprise me that the soundtrack was a really big hit around that time. 84 was kind of the height of like hardcore punk in America in the 80s. And it's no surprise that that soundtrack ended up selling big time. And then the cool spin-off is that it ended up helping the movie come back and make some money and get recognized for the excellent film that it is. So the acting is great. Emilio Estevez is just your perfect, like, I'm not a nihilist, but like he just doesn't really care about stuff. He's just into punk and he just doesn't really know what he's doing with his life. He gets fired from his grocery store job. And there's a great scene at the beginning after he gets fired from his job where they're behind some building with all these headlights of cars on and they're slam dancing to circle jerks. And it just really, I mean, I don't want to be like that nostalgic, like Gen Xer, but it really did take me back to that time of like slam dancing in someone's living room at a house party or something. Like, it was really cool. And it really, I think they did make a comment, maybe it's in the booklet to this, but they were saying like a lot of movies tried to capture the hardcore punk scene of that time, but really none of them succeeded. But this film really did, and I think in a lot of ways that's true. It really did have these little snapshots of kind of what the hardcore punk scene looked like. That's not like the big part of this film, but the scenes where it did have that included, it really captured the energy and the spirit of that scene. And for me, it was just pure nostalgia, taking me right back to my teenage days of slam dancing and having a good time. So anyway, I love this movie. This edition, of course, is the Criterion edition of Repo Man. There's the side. This is DVD number 654 in their catalog. There's the back. I love the imagery on the front. As you can see, it's a skull with a mohawk, but the mohawk is a map of LA. It's really clever graphic design on this. Now, here's the first look at the inside. This is a 2-disc set, so I will go over the special features as well. It comes with this really nice booklet. I kind of like the image on the front of this. I mean, I wouldn't want that to be the cover of the movie, but it is kind of a cool kind of cut and paste kind of thing. It's Otto, and he's there saying intense, because a Repo Man is always intense. So when you open it up, there is an essay by Sam McFeeters. I'm not sure if I remember who that person is, but Sam McFeeters is the author of The Loom of Ruin. So you can look that book up on your own time. He apparently lives in Pomona, California. So this opens up. It's a really great essay. I did read it. It opens up to a great big essay. And then on the back, you've got the cast of the film done in that kind of like punk kind of bones letters. There's the credits. There's about the transfer, which is a 2K scan of the original film elements. There's special thanks. There's some, I don't know, what are those? Oh, those are production credits. So, you know, if any of you are familiar with Criterion, you know that they really put a lot of extra effort into the packaging on these things. On the inside, now somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think these are all fake hardcore punk flyers. I don't recognize any of these band names. Like, it's not like it's Black Flag or Minor Threat or anything like these. I don't recognize any of these bands, and I'm not saying I'm an expert on the genre, but I know my way around a little bit. So I don't know. You can let me know if you can freeze frame that image and look, but I don't know. Well, there's the Rodriguez brothers, which is those are some characters in the film. So I'm gonna guess this is just like based on like kind of a play on those kind of images and things like that. So the special features on here are a new restored 2K digital transfer approved by director Alex Cox, audio commentary featuring Alex Cox, executive producer Michael Nesmith, and a whole bunch of other people. New interviews with Iggy Pop and Keith Morris, and actors Dick Rude and others. Roundtable discussion about the making of the film featuring Cox, producers Peter McCarthy and Jonathan Wax, Zamora, Richardson, and a whole bunch of other people. Cox's cleaned up television version of the film, deleted scenes and trailers, plus an essay by critic Sam McPheeters, which I just showed you. So yeah, this is really, really good. This is from 1984. It's 92 minutes long. It's color. It's widescreen format. This is a Region 1 DVD. It's rated R in Canada. Like I said, I could go on about this movie for a really, really long time, but I will not terrorize you with my extended. Maybe I'll revisit this movie like a year from now or something. But this was, without a doubt, going to the video store, renting this movie back in the early 80s, mid 80s, taking it home, watching it, and just being completely blown away. Like, everything about this movie, this was like my teenage years captured in a film. And I think I forgot, like, there's the weird guy that drives the Malibu, and he wears a pair of sunglasses, and one of the lenses is missing. And somewhere in my photo albums is a picture of me wearing sunglasses with one of the lenses missing. And I was obviously directly influenced by this movie. Otto says the word swell, like, oh, that's really swell. I remember saying that when I was a teenager. So clearly this movie left a mark on me and definitely influenced me. And I could go on about this movie forever, but I won't. This is Criterion 654 Repo Man, directed by Alex Cox. Leave some comments in the comment section below and let me know if you've seen this movie, if you love this movie as much as I do. If you've never seen it, go watch it. Seriously. You can currently rent this on YouTube, Google Play, as well as Apple TV. You can special order this. I don't see this around very much. The Blu-ray does go for big money. Like, I think the person that sold me this, who runs a store that sells DVDs and Blu-rays, said the Blu-ray is like in the late 50s to maybe like $60. So this one was like around $39.99, which is still pretty steep for a DVD. But like I said, I was willing to pay it. It's an awesome addition. I really wanted this in my collection. I definitely have this on my wish list, which I carry around with me in my bag. And so I was very satisfied to scratch that off my list. So anyway, let me know what you thought of this movie in the comments section. If you like this review, consider giving me the thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Welcome to all my new subscribers. As of recording of this video, I'm up to 231, which is really cool. So welcome to all my new followers. And follow me over on Instagram at Night Owl Video, where I usually post what's coming up on any given week. And yeah, like I said, I'm really curious to hear other people's thoughts on this movie. I don't want to overhype it to people, but like for me, this is real nostalgia, and this is really excellent filmmaking, in my opinion, for a low-budget film. On a side note, this was Alex Cox's feature-length debut, so interesting. Now, he did do Sid and Nancy as well, which was a cool movie. I don't have that in my collection because I'm not sure if it would be a rewatch for me, but this one I know I'm probably going to visit every year from now until when I leave this earth. But yeah, love this. Anyway, thank you for watching again, and until next time, I will see you at the video store or the thrift store, or maybe in the streets of LA hunting down a Chevy Malibu with a mohawk in the middle of the night. Who knows? But until then, take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.